Look, before I get to what happened in the Republican elections last night, I got to get something off my chest. I saw this. It drove me insane. Yesterday, the Squad, the Democrat self-hating rabid nuts, specifically Ilham Omar, threw a tantrum on the House floor about Palestine and Rashida Tlaib's censure.
What is true here is that every single one of them has not acknowledged the fact that Palestinians are dying in the tens of thousands, but will continue to say it is us who are not acknowledging humanity. Rashida will stand strong.
Gentlelady's time has expired.
The movement will continue for liberation until every single Palestinian has the right to
Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
I can recall about 0 times that she has cared this much about Americans and our problems here. When in the history of her entire time in Congress has she ever held up pictures of American children being killed by fentanyl? None? Approximately 0 times. I'll refresh your memory. How many times has she held up a picture of a U.S. military veteran that took his own life because he was put on hold by the VA and couldn't get the help he needed and he deserved? That's also a big fat 0, by the way. How many times has Ilhan Omar and any other radical members of the Squad, Cori Bush, Rashida Tlaib, AOC, any of those people, how many of them have gone on that kind of rant for the almost 700 Americans killed by gangs and thugs in Chicago last year? Another big fat 0. I wish she was this passionate about people in the country that she was elected to represent as she is about people that elected terrorists to represent them. I find this morally repugnant. Oh, you're not supposed to get this mad on TV, Carl. Well, I am. I'll just come out and say it. I think Ilham Omar hates America and what we stand for, which I find super ironic. Our country took her in as a refugee by our own good graces, gave her opportunities that she never would have had back in Somalia. She came here to get away from all the crazy stuff that threatened the life of her and her family, one of which, member, was the FBI was suspected her of marrying. They're saying that, not me. Instead, she brings all that crazy stuff into her district in Minnesota, which ironically is the #1 terrorist recruiting capital of the United States. That's according to the FBI, too. Send her back to where she came from. I will pay for her plane ticket. America gave you endless opportunity, Ilham, endless ability, by our good graces, and gave you prosperity, and you hate us for it. And the rest of the Democratic Party, less the, 20 or so that voted to censure Rashida Tlaib with Republicans yesterday, is totally complicit with this nut job. Thank God Rashida Tlaib was censured for supporting the phrase, from the river to the sea, basically calling for the complete elimination of Israel, which is no surprise, given the fact that she also oversees a district that recruits a ton of terrorists, too. She is the only Palestinian American in Congress right now. But the key word there is American. Rashida, you need to pick a side, lady. And if it's not America and our Constitution and our allies, maybe you should go back. If you hate it so much here, there's the door. But you won't, because all the nice rights you enjoy here and you certainly exploit here in America, you don't have those rights in that region of the world. Ironically, Israel is the only country in that region that would give you those kind of rights and that equal respect. And you want to wipe them off the map. In the midst of all this, you know what the White House does? They launched a committee on Islamophobia. While Jewish kids are getting death threats and chased and forced to barricade themselves in libraries at colleges, no word on that. But Islamophobia, let's get a government panel on it. Have you ever thought for just 1 second, that the religion of peace that is now calling for a second day of jihad here in America isn't so peaceful? And maybe people don't actually hate Muslims here in America. We don't. But we are concerned given the current threats on America from the Muslim world. Maybe Ilhan's time would be better spent denouncing terrorists rather than sitting idly by while they flourish in her district. She's a sitting member of the United States Congress with sworn allegiance to support and defend our Constitution, the same oath I took, by the way. And call me crazy, but I doubt she gives a damn about that oath. Not one word from her or the rest of the Squad on the elderly Jewish man who was killed, murdered at a pro-Palestine protest in California. Does that upset you, Ilhan? No, of course not. Why would it? It's only your countryman, an American, but you don't seem to care. I got news for you, Congresswoman. You know why Israel exists? Because they can. Because you know why the terrorists in Gaza, the ones you seem to be supporting, are getting stomped? Because Israel, the people you openly hate, have spent the recent history creating freedom, prosperity, and military superiority instead of oppressing women and building terrorist compound bunkers underneath hospitals and schools. That's why. Our country, that all these squad nuts are elected to represent, is the beacon of freedom. We're the shining city on the hill. America goes away. All else is lost. There is nowhere else. And yet they hate it. Yet they stay here. I have sacrificed too much. I have sent too many of my friends home in boxes and bags to let people that America helped, given every opportunity to. I will not let them spout off from their privileged position about how awful they think we are. No, that's my right to shout back at you. I've earned that right. So you call me whatever you want, Rashida Tlaib, Istophobic, phobophobe, or whatever. I am not that. But I am not going to sit idly by while you trash us and support terrorism.